Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K channel, and with us today we have Alun. I don't know why I said it that way. Alun.
Alun.
Alun. From Before the Sirens. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go check out. I'm not going to say what the video is today. It is a video we've not, or a band we haven't covered on this channel before, though. So let's go check it out. There we go. Well, that was Soil, and the song was Halo. Did you guess that? So we're going to throw this over to Andy first on this one.
2001, Andy. Let's give him some context.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a theme here with tonight's videos. You know, this time period. I feel I have seen and heard that before. Certainly, it's quite a recognisable sort of chorus, but not that often. Maybe once or twice, but it certainly rings a bell. Yeah, I could get into that. It's got quite a good, good groove, and his vocals are really powerful. It's sort of my kind of. I'm rubbish at putting these in genres. I'll leave that to somebody else. But the video's obviously influenced Slipknot's Duality, and they've taken a big idea from Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling. So that's a combination of the two of those. If you were to grab elements from both, yeah. You can really get into that. Yeah, it's not a band I've heard. Again, I think I know the name, but I do recognise that video and the song from way back. As you say, Kirk, 2001. That's a bloody long time ago now, isn't it? 20 plus years. So yeah, good stuff.
No worries. Okay, I'm going to throw it to Kirk next.
I remember when this came out. So this is where, again, I'm repeating myself. I would just, when I would come home from work, I would just put MTV2 on, and it would just be either indie rock or new metal. At least you had something like this come out. I was like, oh, this is good vocals. To me, I would say this is about as heavy as rock music ever gets, because they are using metal techniques, but this is a rock song to me. One thing I will say though at this time, I've definitely become this elitist. I'm reading Terrorizer magazine. I'm like, I'm not listening to anything from America. It's like, unless it's from Norway or Sweden, or they're a grindcore band from England. Fuck you, MTV and major label music. And I remember this changing my opinion, thinking, well, hey, this is good. How good is it that in the mainstream, because MTV2 was mainstream in the end, how good is it you have music like this that major labels are willing to invest money in, and they push them, and that vocalist is fantastic. Alun, what was the follow-up single called after this? It was a bit slow, but his vocals were even better in that. I remember hearing it thinking, wow, what a song this is.
Because this wasn't actually, sorry, I'm not going to cut across you, but I know which ones you mean. There were a couple on it. It
was like slower, and then they stepped on the distortion, the chorus, and his vocals were even more powerful, guttural, muscular, and you just couldn't dislike this band, could you? When this came out, it was refreshing. They've got the groove, they've got the riffs. I think there's a bit of Smells Like Teen Spirit in the imagery as well as that Duality by Slipknot. I just think this was it was just fun. When I heard it, I just remember thinking, yes, this is what we want. If I'm going to listen to American rock music again, then this is what it should sound like. I think they did ride the wave. Again, I keep saying it, new metal, as much as I'm critical of it, it did open the way for major labels to just go and sign fucking anything that was heavy, that had a chorus and a groove, admittedly, Dave. And they were taking chances, and this probably shifted 2 million, I imagine. It was a glorious time in that music industry. Napster was still around, but being shut down. No one knew that streaming was coming. CD sales were at an all-time high. This is a band that were able to ride that wave. I enjoy this song. I think it's aged well.
Alan, what did you reckon overall then?
Mate, right. So, Soil, I had my first car, and we very much like Kirk. We were rehearsing at the time, and I'm going to make an admission to you here. At this point, we had just started to move away from sounding incredibly like Creed as a band, and I'm not exaggerating. We'd stopped trying to sound like some sort of watered down grunge, and as I mentioned, we were starting to discover bands like Killswitch Engage, and what I was going to say a minute ago, Kirk, was this wasn't the first single off that album. Breaking Me Down was. So you had, because it came off the Scars album, which is their debut album. So they released Breaking Me Down before, which is heavy in its own right, and those tracks are 1 and 2 on that album. So Breaking Me Down is track 1, which is big and heavy and just like that, and then you get Halo, and as it comes in with those drums, we covered this so many times for a laugh in my old bands, man. I love this song. His voice, he manages, as you mentioned earlier, he manages to make what I would deem to be whiskey drenched cowboy metal. It's not quite metal, but it's so goddamn heavy. Metalheads will like it, and that I think is the effect.
Rock music for metalheads, isn't it?
100%. But I swear to God, I played that CD so much in my car, I wore it out. I love that album. It's such a great album. I know they've had a lot of iterations. They swapped vocalists with Drowning Pool at one point, and then he came back and whatever else. But that album again, what would I have been around then? Oh, I wouldn't have had a car. That's a lie. I would have still been at school, but I still had it in my car many, many years later. But, I would have been 14, 15 years old when that first came out. And again, it was another sort of formative album for me, really.
Okay. So I was just somewhere about leaving school, around the school age when I got this. I must have been just started working. So I got the album sent to me in the post, because apparently I had won a competition and I got sent this thing. I don't know how I won a competition. I hadn't entered anything, but I got sent the Soil album. And that's how I first came across this. It's such a simplistic riff. It's not a complicated riff, but it works so well. And that's where we can sort of say some of these really basic riffs can just feel so heavy when they're put together with great vocal delivery and great drum tempos. I really like the video. It just makes you want to go and have a great fun in a house party. It really just makes you want to be there in that room, rocking out with it. Watching them live, I've seen Soil so many times live. They are always amazing live, but the funniest thing is actually seeing the height difference between Ryan, the vocalist, and I think it's either their bassist or the guitarist, because Ryan's about 4'11", and the other one's like 7 foot tall. And
like me and
it's just the scariest thing to see on stage. But every time I saw them play this, I think it was actually on Halo. He always goes off stage and gets in the crowd. And the only way they can know that where he is he has to put his microphone above people's heads so that they know where he is amongst the crowd. And then you can see everyone, and he just does. He goes in for the last choruses. He just sings it from in amongst the audience. I've seen him at the Electric Ballroom in London many times. But yeah, great song from that band. And he's back. Actually, he's doing Soil and he's doing Drowning Pool now.
Yeah. But
side by side.
Small man, that is one hell of a voice.
Yeah,
that is a big old voice to come from such a small man.
Can we put this in perspective? I'm 5'5". How tall is this guy?
I think he's shorter than you.
Well, like Greg Puciato from the Dillinger Escape. Like,
I'm sure we can find it on Google. Google will tell us how tall the guy is.
By the way, Mike Patton's quite short. He's like my height. Mike Patton's short.
Anyway, on that note, that was Soil.
Trent Reznor is as well. Trent Reznor's short. I've met him. He's my height.
How tall is your hero? Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Go check out Before the Sirens, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.